So, one question I'm sure a lot of people probably ask sometimes is, why does Disney Channel lately, Disney Channel, Disney XD, Disney Plus, why do they basically just give us mainly about 3 seasons worth of content when it comes to the new animated shows? Mostly the originals, maybe, reboots, whatever you want to, call them or look at them as. And I think the reason for that is it goes back to something, with one of the more original animated series that just really just took off in popularity and went from being not just a Disney Channel show or Toon Disney show or Disney XD show, but throughout that also became a one Saturday morning show, and that's of course Kim Possible. You see, Kim Possible was so popular that nobody wanted to see it end until basically they felt the story was complete. For example, when we got So the Drama, which was the movie finale to season 3, a lot of people wanted to see one more season because they were following essentially Kim and Ron and their friends from freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and now they wanted to see it come full circle with senior year. And also the fact that, with So the Drama going the direction it did with the Kim and Ron relationship that a lot of fans were hoping would become a reality, they wanted to see, what the aftermath would be, like how would it play out and everything. Now, despite, various reports and rumors, apparently one of the more popular ones is that fans demanded a fourth season, and it just so happened that Disney had that on the ready. Now, whether or not Disney anticipated that, that's up for debate. But apparently, this is something that, they were, I guess, prepared for, knowing that fans wanted to see one more season. Because let's be honest, how can you do all new episodes, while you're currently working on a movie? Not saying that it's not possible, because you could have various different teams working on different scenarios when it came to the series, but still, it's like, to me, Disney anticipated fans wanting the series to continue, I should say, even as far back as the end of season 2. So, you know, and I'm basically saying that because I can assume they probably realized, hey, they probably want to watch this, come full circle. They want to grow with these characters throughout high school. And that's basically what we got here. That's essentially what we got, with season 4. But I think but the reason I bring this up, and what I'm trying to say, and it's early, I do apologize. I'm doing this before I get myself ready, ready for work and before I even had my first cup of coffee. Um, but, honestly, going back to, that fourth season that, Disney will come out and say it was the fans that wanted it and we gave it to them. I think if you go back to that, to me, that is sort of the catalyst, if you if you will, excuse me, for Disney basically making the decision that instead of doing, you know, multiple seasons, with their shows, that they need to limit it to just 3 seasons. Like, make it basically make it feel like, it's a book, it's a novel, to where, each season each season is its own contained chapter, and you got to continue reading the book to see what happens next in the next chapter. Or if you want to look at it as a book series, you look at season 1 as book 1, then you look at season 2 as book 2, and then season 3 as the finale. And, to me, I think that's why Disney is doing, these shows the way they are. From Gravity Falls to Amphibia to The Owl House, believe it or not, and many others. They're trying to basically, condense everything that, you know, they they feel that they can get in there within the span of 3 seasons. Now, does it now here's the thing, does it work sometimes? Well, it all depends on how it's pulled off. I mean, lately, a lot of the shows from, like I said, Gravity Falls to Amphibia to Ducktales to now Owl House, and I think there's one in between as well. Star versus Forces of Evil. That's another one. These all basically were done in a way that some of the some of the planning for these final seasons, especially the finales, went off without a hitch and were enjoyable. Even when they did Tangle, Rapunzel's Adventure, the finale there went off without a hitch. And they were able to do all that within the span of basically 3 seasons. Now, did they leave the door open for more stories to be told, not just with characters like, let's say, Rapunzel and Finn Rider, Flynn Rider? Yeah, they did. You have all these other characters they could have done, spin-offs with. There's no doubt, or they could have continued the series with, but focus on them for at least a couple of episodes. Um, the same with the Owl House, the same with, Gravity Falls, the same with Amphibia, the same with, Ducktales and Star versus the Forces of Evil. There's a lot of, potential to continue off of, in my opinion. But I think the reason Disney decided to basically go this direction with this era of animation that they, basically stumbled upon to, thanks to the likes of Gravity Falls and DuckTales and all them. I think the reason they limit themselves to 3 seasons, if you will, is so they don't suffer from burnout. Like they know that there's potentially more they can tell, but they don't want to burn themselves out by trying to, tell these new stories, but then get repetitive. And also, there's other projects that they want to focus on, as well. So to me, them going the 3 season structure, they're learning from previous experience, like I said, with the likes of Kim Possible, where they realized, yeah, maybe if we would have gotten everything, you organized and condensed and, put together, correctly in the span of maybe 3 seasons as well as the movie, for, that ended season 3, that they wouldn't have to do a season 4. Like they could have done something to, epilogue it by saying this is what happens the following year and da da da. But, they knew Kim Possible, again, was a popular IP. And obviously knowing that fans were going to want more because they were hearing, because you got to also remember, this is at a time where the internet was starting to come into its own. So message boards and chat rooms and all that, were, really becoming, popular, outlets for fans to voice their pleasure or displeasure, to find out, reports and rumors and, you know, um, discussions potentially internally within the ranks of Disney of this show might be coming to an end, that show might be coming to an end, they might be working on this, they might be working on that. And by having this new platform, of message boards and discussion, message boards that became the discussion outlets, what I'm trying to say, you know, it allowed them to let their voice be heard. It allowed them to let, to let Disney basically know, hey, we don't want you to end this series yet. We want this series to continue. We want this series to be there. For the after the movie, we want to see what happens with Kim and Ron. We want to see what happens with Draken and Chigo. We want this. We want that. And Disney basically obviously knew this. They knew this. But here's the thing: just because a studio might know this and have stuff ready just in case, doesn't mean they're always going to follow through. There is a lot of studios out there, Warner Brothers, Universal, Disney themselves, that have probably completed episodes, in the can, but vaulted away because, the interest or, the interest and popularity of what they were working on with those stories and, that might have completed episodes or whatever, or even movies, that, the interest, the popularity of it died down. I mean, you want some good recent examples, take a look at Warner Brothers. There's two things that they got canned, if you will, well, not canned, but vaulted, indefinitely for the time being. The completed holiday Scoob movie, which did get leaked out, apparently. Um, the completed Scooby-Doo Crypto crossover film that got canned, is completed but got canned and vaulted. And then, of course, Batgirl, which was basically complete, mainly, with a few, with the exception of a few production things here and there. It got canned. It's like it's pretty much done, but it's vault. It's in the vault, never to see the light of day. So it's nothing new for any studio out there to have completed episodes for a popular IP or a popular IP that may be waning, or even for a movie or anything that's complete. Um, it's not uncommon for them to take those stories that are completed and ready to be seen by the public and pretty much vault them, pretty much lock them up indefinitely, never to see the light of day. And Disney probably had that in mind for Kim Possible, but realized, hey, this IP is still very popular. I mean, it's still very popular to this day. That they're like, you know what? We need to keep this going. We need to keep this going. And all they had to do was wait for any potential fan response. And once they started seeing that fans were getting word of, hey, this, season three, the solo drama movie might be the end, that's, once they started to hear fans' displeasure in that and saying, hey, we want Kim Possible back, we want season four, that's when that pretty much gave them the green light to say, okay, let's put season four out there. And that's what they did. And again, I think from an experience standpoint, as I check something here real quickly, guys, hold on. From an experience standpoint, I think Disney learned a lesson. Like, instead of, potentially wasting and locking away future stories and episodes for popular IPs, that they need to basically take everything that they know fans are going to want to see occur in these series, in these movies, most of these series, and bring it all out within the span of the 3 seasons planned. Now, sometimes the way they do it with the 3 seasons is unique. Sometimes the final season, like with the Owl House, will only be like 3, 4, 60-minute, 44-minute, specials or movies, mini movies, if you will, to wrap things up. And sometimes that works because you give yourself more time within the span of those 44 to 60 minutes, those mini movie episodes for the season, to do more with, to explore more with. And obviously it worked because you could tell fans not only appreciated how the finale was done, but you could tell maybe that there's hope they can get more out of it. Same with Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls had a finale, and it looks like fans are going to get more Gravity Falls in the near future that might take place years later or so, which is good because it is a very popular IP. I mean, The Journal 3 is a best-selling book at my job right now. So yeah, I think Disney, what they're doing mainly, in my opinion, though, when I look at pretty much what they've done with the Owl House and how they structured that, and in its finale, and and such, as well as what they did with Gravity Falls, what they did with Amphibia, what they've done with Star in the versus the Forces of Evil and Ducktales. Despite the fact that there's more they could have done with these shows, after the third seasons, I think they're just leaving them the way they are now, because if, they decide, or future people, animation-wise at Disney decide to, explore them once again for future use, hey, the door is always open. But right now they decide to end it on a pretty much, a decent, I guess you could say, ending to, that leaves the door open for possibilities in the future. But that's just my opinion as to why I think Disney is going down the 3 season structure, in very unique ways, because they're learning from what they did with Kim Possible, back when it was, on Disney Channel and its various networks. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below, live chat during the premiere, and I'll talk to y'all later.